Welcome to the SLP Stress Management Podcast, your place to manage stress, reduce the risk of burnout, and find more balance in your life as an SLP and a human. I'm your host, Jessie Andrix, and in today's episode, I'm going to share a tip for you, what you can do when you feel tension building in your neck and shoulders from sitting at a desk or at a computer all day. We're also going to practice a warming, soothing meditation, and I'll share some ways to help you decompress from your work days, especially on those days where you feel like all you can do is just come home, sit on the couch, and stare off into space. Let's dive right in. All right, it's time for this week's wellness tip. So this week, I have a breathing practice for you to do, but you also do a little bit of movement with this. This is great for when you've been sitting at your computer for a while, or you've just noticed like your posture is kind of not super awesome, and you might be building up some tension in your shoulders or like the upper back or your neck. So this helps you connect the breath, but also adds in a little bit of movement with the breath to help you release some of that tension and open up through the chest and get more space there, not only to breathe, but to help reduce some of that tension that builds when we round and cave in to our chest and feel like our shoulder blades just kind of round forward. So here's what I want you to do. You can stand up tall or just sit really tall, and I want you to take your shoulders and just take a breath in and draw them up by your ears, so like shrug them on purpose. And as you exhale, roll them back and down. Inhale, rock them up by the ears, and exhale, roll them back and down. If you want extra feedback, bring your fingertips right onto your shoulders. Your elbows will kind of be out to the side, and I want you to roll really big. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, circle the elbows forward, rock those shoulders up, and exhale, circle it back and down. A few more times here. Feel the chest open bigger each time you breathe in, lift, and exhale, keep the chest lifted as you draw those shoulders down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower the shoulders. You got to inhale, rock up. Exhale, lower, circle up and around. Exhale, back and down. One more time. Inhale, lift those shoulders up by the ears. Exhale, drop them down. If your fingertips are on the shoulders, bring them down as well. And see if you can take a breath or two here with that chest lifted, the shoulders drawing down, lots of space here through the neck. So the next time you feel some tension building, or if you've just been sitting for a while, take that, maybe take 5 to 10 rounds of breath, feel the chest open, get some movement back through the shoulders, release some tension through the shoulders, back, and neck, and feel better as you move through your day. And now a word from this week's sponsor. One of my favorite things about being an SLP, and especially working in the schools, is all of the fun apparel and shirts that I get to wear that are related to the field in somehow, or the work we do, or just put some kind of message of, positivity and encouragement out there. And one place that has inspiring and sometimes just really fun shirts is Peachy Speechy. So if you are looking for some apparel that you can wear at your speech job to show, hey, I am the speech therapist, and inspire someone, or maybe just give them a little bit of giggle and take some stress off of your day and theirs, check out the link below for 10% off your next purchase of Peachy Speechy. Let's take a moment to meditate. Find a quiet space where you can sit, maybe seated in a chair with your feet on the floor, or sitting cross-legged on the floor or a cushion. And wherever you're at, go ahead and root down. So make a connection to whatever is underneath you. If it's your feet on the floor, your bottom in your seat, or sitting onto that cushion, and then get tall through your spine. Think of lifting the rib cage off the waist, the chest lifting, and the crown of the head reaching. So growing longer, taller through the spine. Without being rigid, just space to breathe. Hands can rest in your lap, and then if you're able to today, close your eyes. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of visualization in our meditation practice. So it's going to give you something to focus on as you breathe and as you meditate. And so to do this, it's helpful to have your eyes closed, but if you're not able to, just find a spot you can gaze at. Maybe take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let the eyes close. And begin to breathe in and out through your nose, if possible. For a moment, focusing on your breath, and then letting that shift into the body. Just kind of a brief scan of how your body feels today. A brief scan even of your mind. And again, this is just a scan. It's not judgment. It's not right or wrong. Just noticing and bringing awareness to how you are fully in this moment. And then from here, begin to bring your awareness upward. Kind of towards the crown of the head or even out in front of you. Imagining that space there. And I want you to imagine a warm, yellow, bright light. Maybe glowing, maybe like the sun. And then start to feel and imagine that light starting to come down. Draping itself over you, like the beams of the sun warming you on a summer day. Starting at the crown of your head. Imagine that yellow light just coming through, bringing warmth, bringing light down through the head to the eyes, the ears, nose, sending that warmth down to the mouth, the jaw, the neck, down into the shoulders, being bathed in that warm light, down through the arms to the fingertips, and down the body, through the chest, the rib cage, the belly, down the back of the spine, down the pelvis, just this yellow glow, down into the legs, into the feet. And imagine just this warm, soothing yellow light, this bright light filling you up with warmth, with joy, that spark. Letting any tension melt away in the warmth. Soaking up the energy of it. We'll take about 5 more breaths here, just imagining that warm light covering you now. And then when you're ready, come back to your own breath. And you can either keep this glow, imagining it staying over you like a cloak as you move through your day, or maybe bringing it down into just that flame at your heart center, carrying it with you. Knowing that there's this light, this spark, this glow, this joy, this warmth that you can connect into at any time you need it. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes, maybe blink a few times. and you've completed your meditation practice for today. Question for you. Do you ever find yourself wanting to sit in the quiet with the lights off for a few moments after work? If you do, you are absolutely not alone. I myself like to do this, but I also saw a recent post on social media about this on Instagram. Shout out to Type B SLP. And I immediately related to it, as did a lot of other SLPs. In fact, I typically keep the lights off in my SLP room when I'm like writing notes, eating lunch, or just wanting some quiet. I happen to have really big windows with a lot of natural light, and so I can do this without being in the complete dark. But I find that just having that little moment lets other people know that I'm taking a moment for something. And for myself, it just kind of lets me be in more of a quiet mode. And one of my favorite routines, which I haven't been able to do as much of lately, but I still love when I'm able to, is to stop at home before I pick up my kiddo and sit to listen, like from school. And I sit and listen to a meditation audio. It helps me to find some quiet, to decompress, and to shift out of work mode. And I often like to pair it with like a warm cup of tea when I want to feel a little extra. So these moments of decompression make a lot of sense. As an SLP, especially with young students and children, you have to be on all day long. You're talking, engaging, and like bringing the enthusiasm for hours a day, even if it is with breaks in between. Like even if you do have moments in between your sessions, when you are with those clients and doing that like bulk of your job, you are on. And then there are things like coworkers, families, meetings, where you get to engage even more, right? So maybe you have to be on in an IEP meeting or a virtual meeting, right? Where the video is on and you're kind of just stuck in that box of being on. For me, those virtual meetings are where I find the exhaustion of being on the most. And I used to work in teletherapy, like exclusively. So it's no wonder that many of us crave a few moments of silence in the comfort of our own homes at the end of the day. This time to decompress brings like much needed balance, which can help you feel less overstimulated and overwhelmed. When those things happen, your brain has more difficulty processing, and it can make it harder to think, to get anything done, or to feel like steady, to feel okay, feel present. And it's more overwhelming and stressful when you feel that way. Decompressing can help you find balance, reduce stress, and be more present in your evenings. By definition, decompression means to let the pressure out or to relax and find calm. And I envision it as like just this, right? It's like a tightly wound up person, like an SLP, that has been piled on throughout the day with more weight added to them and more packed into like their bubble around them until they're about to burst or collapse in on themselves. And then finally, at the end of the day, the pressure is released, sometimes through a cry or a scream or just like letting go of all the steam like a pressure cooker, right? And then finally, you get to decompress and feel right again. So what are some ways to decompress? If decompression means to let go of pressure, find calm and relax, then any activity that counteracts the pressure of the day, lets you relax and find calm, would be considered a way to decompress. And it could definitely vary from person to person, but there are a few that could help most or that give you a few places to choose how you need to take it. So here are some effective ways to decompress from work. Try these simple and mostly quiet ways to decompress after your SLP workday. So one thing you can do is to find quiet. If you're feeling overstimulated and it's like hard to think, process, or really even just be around anyone, then finding quiet will help. If you notice that you are like you're at home and your family's there and you've just felt so much in your brain all day, not necessarily that you're ruminating, but that you're just stuck on some thoughts, then and you notice maybe you're like feeling like you're snapping, or you feel like you are, you're shorter patience, this can really help. So chances are you are dysregulated from being around so many people, from talking so much, from so much talking happening to you, and from being on all day. And you just need a little space and some quiet to counteract it. So try something calm and quiet. Maybe take a 5-minute meditation, or like sip a cup of tea and stare out the window or go outside. You could read a book. And I would say that this would preferably be a fiction book, so you don't feel like you're overloading or like learning more, that you get a true break. Maybe listening to some like lo-fi music for a little bit, or meditation music, just to have that like not more noise or talking, but that like calming vibrations. Another thing you could do is to move your body on purpose. So you may have been moving a lot during the day, right? Like up and down the hallways, but it's not the same as like taking a moment to move on purpose. So if what you are experiencing is that you are in your head, that your thoughts are constant, that you are like not necessarily ruminating, or not that you feel overloaded, but just you have so many thoughts going on in your head, like to-do lists and things you want to get done, things you didn't get done, things you need to write down on a calendar. If you feel that you are just in your head, movement can be helpful because it gets you out of your head and into your body. You feel your body, you bring yourself back down into it, and you become more present in this moment. So you can be present at home and enjoy it more. So some things to try here would be mindful movement, like go outside for a walk. Maybe try some yoga where you're pairing breathing and movement, or like a Pilates or bar class. Maybe go for a swim if it's the right weather. You could even go like lift some weights or head to a class if that's something that you really enjoy and it helps you feel better and not more stimulated, tired, or depleted after. Another thing you could do is to brain dump or write about it. If you're feeling that you're really stuck on a thought and you're ruminating on something that had happened or could happen, it can be really helpful to let it out by writing about it. So when you write about the thoughts that you're ruminating on, it gives them a place to live other than your head, and this helps you remove the pressure of the thoughts, find some calm outside of them, and gives you something you can look back on later if needed. Although many times just getting it out helps you to move through it and onward. And then another one that can help, but I would say maybe use this one with a little bit more caution, is to find a hobby, or to actually go and do your hobby. And the idea with this is that you are letting off that steam and bringing in more balance. So it can be helpful to do something fun, something that you enjoy and that gets you in the zone, right? You're in the flow when you're there and out of the stress for a moment. So it could be that you're writing or you're moving or you're doing some of these other things, but it could also be something like drawing, baking, knitting, building things, something that you find soothing and that's like a reset for you. If you find it calming and it lets the pressure go, then it could be helpful. But if you're feeling overstimulated and your favorite hobby is something that, makes you feel more stimulated and feel dysregulated, then maybe try something else instead. So needing time to decompress after work is not a bad thing, and it doesn't mean that you are wrong or that your job is awful or that there is something not right. Sometimes it just means that you had a lot going on that day and you need to bring yourself back into balance, using your environment to do so. So take a moment, like 5 minutes might be all you need, to let the pressure go and find some calm and relaxation. So which one of these things are you going to try? I would love to know. You can leave a comment over on the blog, send me a message over on Instagram @JessieAndrix, or email me Jessie@jessieandrix.com. And if you want more resources to help you let the pressure off and find some calm, you can subscribe at the link below for the Resilient SLP Toolbox, a free resource library that features yoga classes, meditation audios, and more. So head on over to that link below, click on it, enter your email address to subscribe, and you'll get instant access. And then make sure to check your email to confirm, and you'll continue to get more access and more weekly tips and amazing things. So thank you so much for being here today and for tuning in. Love and light to you.